Hello, I'm Rok and I visited Vienna where I spent 4 wonderful days with my wife. In this video, I would like to explain to you what you need to know before you go and visit Vienna. First, I'm gonna tell you what to expect from Vienna.
What?
Second, I'm gonna talk about safety and language.
Wirklich?
Then I will present best ways to get to Vienna. Then I'm gonna focus on the best room location for exploring the city. Then I'm gonna talk about transport system and how to get around Vienna. Then I'm gonna talk about typical food. And in the end, I will give you some tips and ideas that might help you if you decide to visit Vienna. Vienna is big, modern capital of Austria with about 2 million people. For centuries, it was an important center of power as it was the royal seat of powerful Habsburg Empire. When in 16th and 17th centuries Ottomans tried to conquer Vienna, the medieval town walls were built. In 17th century, Vienna was rapidly developing in Baroque style with large palaces and gardens. During the second half of the 19th century, the medieval town walls were demolished and replaced by a new boulevard that surrounded the historical core with grand and beautiful buildings. Former suburbs were incorporated and the city grew dramatically. Vienna was a center of high culture, of modernism, and a world capital of music that attracted the best composers, such as Mozart, Beethoven and Schubert. Vienna also had world's first psychoanalyst, Sigmund Freud. Vienna is also cultural, economic and political center of Austria. Its entire historic city center is UNESCO World Heritage Site that attracts more than 7.5 million tourists per year. On the outskirts of Vienna is another UNESCO attraction, the largest palace in Austria, Schönbrunn. It served as a summer residence for Habsburgs and attracts 4 million visitors a year. There are many other interesting attractions, like the oldest still operating Ferris wheel in the world, famous Vienna Spanish riding school and Vienna Boys Choir. Vienna also has one of the most popular tourist souvenirs, the snow globe that was invented here by accident when they were trying to improve the brightness of light bulbs for surgical lamp. Vienna is big, historic and modern city that has been voted the world's most livable city for 7 years in a row, and that is why it is so popular. Vienna is a big city, but despite its size, it is considered to be a safe city where you should feel perfectly safe. Mugging and kidnapping risks are low, and public transport is safe and reliable. Since Vienna attracts more than 7.5 million tourists per year, it is no wonder that numerous tourists attract pickpockets. Most common crimes are theft, pickpocketing and bag snatching. That means you should be aware of risk and you should take basic precautions like not carrying large amounts of cash on you. Vienna attracts people from around the world, and about 40% of its population has partial or full migrant background. The official language spoken in Vienna is German, but local population does speak a dialect that should be understandable by all German speakers. English is the most common foreign language in Vienna and is widely spoken. You should have no trouble using English in hotels, stores, restaurants, at popular sites and for using services. Vienna can be reached by plane, by train, by bus or car, and even by ship on the Danube River. Airport lies about 19 kilometers to the east from the city center and can be reached by taxis, by Vienna Airport line buses, and by 3 different trains. City Airport Train, or CAT, is the quickest connection to the city center that takes only 16 minutes. Express train S7 offers similar connection and departs the airport every 30 minutes. The railjet trains runs twice an hour to Vienna main train station. Airport line buses run every 30 or 60 minutes and have 3 different routes and 10 stops. Vienna has good railway connections to other European cities, so it can be easily reached by train. Vienna Central train station is the most modern and important national and international transportation hub in Austria. It offers connections to the underground line, tram and bus lines. There are many river cruises on the Danube that connects Vienna with the other European capitals like Bratislava, Budapest and Belgrade. There is also a fast catamaran that connects Vienna's historic city center with Slovakian capital Bratislava in just 75 minutes. Vienna is composed of 23 districts. District number 1, or the Innere Stadt, is the historic city center that used to be a walled city surrounded by fields in order to defend itself from potential attackers. Today, Vienna Ring Road, or Ringstrasse, marks the boundaries of the historic city center as it replaced the former city walls. The entire historic city center is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and attracts most visitors. Other attractions like Schönbrunn Palace, Belvedere or the giant Ferris wheel are outside of the historic city center, but most of the time tourists spend in District 1. That is why it is the best to look for your accommodation as close as possible to the historic city center. Inside the District 1, you will never have to walk more than 20 minutes to get somewhere. But District 1 can also be very expensive, so most people will look for accommodation around it. Districts 4, 7, 8 and 9 are particularly beautiful due to being green and quiet despite their central location. When looking for accommodation in Vienna, you should stay within the so-called belt, one of Vienna's busiest main roads. Inside the belt, you can find very good public transport connections to anywhere. Vienna has a very good public transport system that is clean, safe and rarely overcrowded. It consists from metro called U-Bahn, local train called S-Bahn, street tram and bus. All means of public transport use the same ticket, meaning you can use the same ticket for bus, train, tram or metro. Tickets can be bought from ticket offices found at bigger stations, from tobacco shops around the city or from vending machines in all underground stations. You can even use your phone and Vim mobile app. It is also possible to buy tickets on the tram from the machine that works on coins only, so use that option as the last resort. There are different tickets available. If you're using short-term or single tickets, you have to validate them in stamping machine. You can find this machine on buses and trams and on entrances to U-Bahn and S-Bahn stations. Metro and tram are the easiest and quickest way to get around Vienna. Metro line or U-Bahn operate daily from 5 AM to around midnight. Trains usually depart every 5 minutes. Famous red and white trams are providing public transport since 1865. Most trams start running from 5 AM and stop at midnight. Besides regular tram lines, there is also a special Vienna ring tram that circles all the way around the Ringstrasse. Throughout the 25-minute journey, audio guides provide information about the landmarks in 8 different languages. City buses were designed for the narrow streets in Vienna's historic city center, where they also provide transportation. After midnight, buses are the best way to get around Vienna. 21 night bus lines are marked with letter N, and they run every 30 minutes between midnight and 5 AM. If you arrive in Vienna by car, the best way is to park your car inexpensively at Vienna's park and ride garages. All park and ride facilities are directly connected to a metro line, making it easy to connect to the city center. Besides traditional means of public transport, Vienna is also famous for its horse-drawn carriages. They can be found at different stations around the city center. For centuries, Vienna was a royal capital of vast empire that included many different cultures and nations. As a result, many different influences can be found in its cuisine. If you're a meat lover, you should definitely try world-famous Wiener Schnitzel. It's a thin slice of breaded veal escalope fried in a pan. It's good to know that the original Wiener Schnitzel is made of veal meat, but restaurants also serve turkey, chicken and pork meat advertised as Wiener Schnitzel. These types of meat are cheaper, but I would advise you to go with the original veal Wiener Schnitzel. Strudel originates from Vienna, but it's a popular type of dessert all over Austria and in other countries that were once part of the Habsburg Empire. Strudel is a thin pastry rolled up around a filling and baked. In Vienna, popular strudels are Topfenstrudel or cream cheese strudel and Apfelstrudel with apple and cinnamon filling. Kaiserschmarrn is another dessert, and essentially it's a shredded pancake with plum jam. The dish was first prepared for the Austrian emperor, and its name is a compound of the words Kaiser, meaning the emperor, and Schmarrn, meaning shredded dish. There are many stories connected to the creation of this dish. One of them says that emperor's wife was a poor cook, and instead of flipping the pancakes, she simply shredded them. Another world-famous dessert from Vienna is a chocolate cake with a thin layer of apricot jam called Sacher cake. In 1832, Prince had several important guests for dinner. He ordered his personal chef with creating a special dessert for his guests. The head chef got ill, so the task fell to his 16-year-old apprentice, Franz Sacher. Sacher came up with a cake that made Prince's guests very happy. Later on, Sacher's oldest son, Eduard, perfected his father's recipe while working in Demel Café, which was the first establishment to offer original Sacher torte. Later on, Eduard opened his own hotel, where he was also serving his Sacher cake. This was the reason for a long-lasting legal war between Café Demel and Hotel Sacher. Today, both places are making Sacher cake, but under different names. But no matter which one you have, they are both delicious. Vienna has continental type of climate with 4 seasons. Winters are cold and snowy, with average temperature low below freezing, and the coldest month is January. Spring is short, moist and variable. Summers are moderately hot, with July being the hottest month, when temperatures occasionally touch 35 centigrade or 95 Fahrenheit mark. Autumn is mild and pleasant, with a moderate amount of rain and with possible snowfalls already in November. The best time to visit Vienna is from April to May in spring and from September to October in the autumn, when the weather is nice, but there are fewer crowds. Summer is the peak of tourist season, and the city will be crowded. Winter can be nice around Christmas because of the amazing Christmas market, but it can get very cold. Vienna has a special sightseeing city card designed for tourists called Vienna Pass. With Vienna Pass, you can get entry to over 60 attractions, museums, and monuments, and fast-track entry to some of top attractions. It also gives you rides with hop-on, hop-off bus. If you're planning to visit several of Vienna's most popular museums and galleries, this pass could save you money and time. In most popular places around Vienna, you can see people dressed like Mozarts. They are selling tickets for classical music concerts. Sometimes the quality of these events can be a little bit questionable. If you want to attend a good classical music concert in Vienna, I advise you to find tickets somewhere else. You can ask at your hotel or look online. If you like this video, give us thumbs up. If you have any questions, your own experience, your own recommendation, or even your own tips and tricks about Vienna, please leave it in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe. This way, you will help us create more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and see you next time.